Hello, Bl'Artagnan here with Cave of No Return, the final boss rush very hard plus? Not actually considered a Lufania plus. Last time we'll have to worry about making that mistake since this is the last boss rush as far as the JP timeline has shown us. We're bringing the team of Rem, Garnet, and Machina. Before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, leave a comment down below, and ring that notification bell. We're actually going to be bringing just one team through this. We're going to bring out the big guns here. I haven't used Machina or Garnet in a hot second, and we're going to see just how much damage these two are still capable of doing by trying to demolish all three waves within the 30 action limit. Turns out Blue Rem pairs beautifully with Machina, as shocking, I know. But, yeah, these three together just feel absolutely ridiculous. So, the bosses have mechanics, or so I've been led to believe. These are the Guard Scorpions from the Cloud LDBT debut over a year ago. Jesus Lord, that's a long time. So they have mechanics like they self-delay, and they go into this undelayable mode where you have to launch them to break their union. So they, it's like you're supposed to launch them, and then they become delayable. And that matters, I guess. The orb is they have to take damage from an HP damage increasing debuff. Or, not damage from the debuff, but they need to take increased HP damage from a debuff. You know, like a Kurasame Fang, for instance. Gebranth, the usual stuff. We have Kurasame here. In hindsight, didn't really matter, but hey, you know, some extra Kurasame never hurt nobody. So just dealing a little bit of extra HP damage because of that. Absurd amount of HP cap on this team now. We got the 20% from Rem, we got like 40% from Garnet between her BT and her armor, and then we have another, 30% from Machina, I want to say? So that's, as you can see, the total amount of damage per HP attack is kind of ludicrous right now. We're blowing them up with the Machina Burst Phase right now, the old, BT finisher into BT Phase trick to get these out of the way. The one downside to this is it does waste some damage here. We're wasting a Furious Blades, and we're going to be wasting the Burst Effect on this dead guy. We brought the Rain's Call, of course, to maximize our damage here. But I think it's a relatively small price to pay to blow up this one wave in 7 actions. Not too shabby. Alright. 18 million, solid. On to the next one. It's the Scary Bone Dragons. These guys, they have a mechanic. Well, no, do they have mechanic? I don't think they have mechanics. They have an orb, though, is what I meant to say. Whenever you have to apply 2 or more debuffs in a turn, which is to say, you have to apply basically a debuff. Almost every character applies 2 debuffs when they apply a debuff, because, 2 targets. But hey, who am I to criticize a dragon for the orb they've set up? Doing a quick turn swap there, and we're going to be chopping these guys with Machina. We've applied his LD debuff, which will give us some extra follow-up attacks, which is cool. It does, once again, it's a weird little tension where you're like, well, maybe I should have used a burst. I should have just used the burst attacks and not worry about applying the debuff. But I figured the actual debuff application at this point, or his using his LD, I should say, deals like about 1 million damage on the button press anyway. So it's not that big a damage loss, and it adds up over time, I figure, against these guys. That's what I tell myself. In hindsight, I probably could do it in the 3rd wave, but I don't. Whatever. So we're doing just fine here, chopping these guys away. They're almost... We're running out of actions. We're almost down to the 10 action mark, which is, that's a third of the actions we have left. So we're going to have to be careful here, but... Luckily, Machina is also a counter unit, so he's dealing... 400,000 damage per counter? Jesus Lord. HP cap is a drug. Speaking of drugs, check this out. Bringing the Cyan LDCA call to blow them up the last hit. Before letting, we didn't want Machina to take another action, we wanted him back. What I wanted to do here is have his BT effect up for 3 more turns, so that he could go into summon with, with 3 turns of Hellfire. Because as you know, he has Hellfire on right now, and it's going to tick down. So he's at 2 now, so he has 2 more BT effect turns. That's what the thinking was there. I wanted them dead before Machina took a turn, and that's why we brought Cyan there. The fact that we had a zillion % HP cap, and he has a 5/5 greatsword ultimate weapon, icing on the cake. Thanks, Cyan. helping me out there. Clutch little call. As you can tell, with all these BT effects rolling, we really don't need any sort of damage up calls. Oh yeah, the orb for these guys is holy damage, and or cleanse a debuff. We won't be doing either of those, as you can see here. We're just going hard on him. So Machina's gonna have one more turn after this of having his BT effect and the Hellfire. So we're gonna be able to get one more really swanky HP plus from this. Trying to decide what I want to do, and I decided, you know what, we'll let them take a turn. Something I actually forgot about. I probably should have. Well, not should have. I could have applied Machina's LD so that he countered on these turns. Well, properly countered. Unfortunately, no dice. Did not do that, so a little damage loss there, but I think it's probably going to work out for the best because it means that instead of wasting one of these Hellfire burst turns on his LD, we get to use it on his sweet Furious Blades burst effect. Alright. We have 2 targets left and 1 turn of this burst, so we're going to actually use the Sid Rain's base call, bring up Rem, and get some sick damage from Rains in the sky real quick. I almost forgot about this base call, and there we go, 1,000,000 damage on a base call. You'll love to see it. And now, with that, let's close this out. And there we go, 1 team plowing through the entirety of the boss rush. Hey, no well, no, we definitely use synergy. We definitely Rem the synergy. Anyway, okay, so yeah, no shortcuts taken, but 1 team, and that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.